All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Alabama and Michigan, that game just concluded. It got the Bama gear on as usual. Was a really good football. Well, it was a good football game, I thought, in the first half. We did play sloppy. We played very sloppy. Defensively, Michigan ran all over us. They had over 135 yards in the first half on the ground game. We kept getting pushed off the line of scrimmage, 2 or 3 yards back. We didn't play with any physicality. Our defense alignments it was just out of place again. Defensively, the linebackers just look confused. Shane Lee and Christian Harris was out of position a lot. And Michigan took advantage of it, right? They started to really establish the run game and then mix some play action passes, have some RPOs implemented into their game. And ultimately, the Wolverines had some really, really long drives, some really, really physical long drives that maybe we're accustomed to doing in the past, and they were able to score. But they were just a couple things that Michigan did, whether it was penalties or whether it was just a couple of just not so good play calling, that they just didn't get it right, and couldn't punch it in. And Alabama took advantage of those opportunities. 57-yard field goal by that Michigan kicker, man. Can we do that? Can we have a kicker that can kick 57 yards and do that? I mean, please. I mean, that would have been awesome if we would have done that against Auburn in 2013. But the second half we made adjustments, right? We started to be more physical. We started to really oppose our will on the line of scrimmage on the defensive line. Linebackers started to play a lot better in their gaps. We started to have a lot more gap control with the defensive line. I thought that Christian Harris had a better and Shane Lee had a better second half. We all get on Shane Lee and Christian Harris, but we got to remember that those are true freshmen, and even though that, yes, I think that with Josh McMillan and Dylan Moses come back, we're gonna have that experience, and we're gonna have the depth next year with Shane Lee and Christian Harris, with Josh McMillan and Dylan Moses, and then you got to bring the true freshman class that are maybe even more talented than those players that I just named. So the future is looking bright at that linebacking position. I know the defensive line position, LeBron Ray is coming back. We're gonna have DJ Dale. He's gonna be back. We're going to have Byron Young, Justin Abogbe. We're just going to have a lot, overall-wise, defensively, we're just going to have a lot of depth. Now, the secondary-wise is going to be a little bit of a question mark. Overall-wise, I thought the secondary, speaking of the secondary, I thought they played pretty okay. Again, we run a lot of man coverage, sometimes safety over the help a lot. That's pretty much what we run. We barely run any zone coverage. But I thought man did okay. I thought Josh Jobe actually did a pretty good job. Of course, you look at the replay and you'll say, okay, well, Shea Patterson overthrew those. He overthrew a lot of those receivers, whether it was Donovan Peoples-Jones, whether it was Raheem Bell, or whether it was Nico Collins. But Josh Jobe did a good job disrupting the timing. I feel like not a lot of people are going to give our cornerback a lot of credit for that. I feel like they did a really good job as far as disrupting the timing. And Josh Jobe, he was physical. I felt like Patrick Surtain, he was probably the most physical corner. But as far as Trayvon Diggs being gone, I feel like Josh Jobe did a pretty good job against a really good receiver in Nico Collins, which Alabama fans are still wondering why the hell did he not pick Alabama. What else? Mac Jones. How about Mac Jones today? Listen, he's no Tua Tagovailoa. He doesn't have that supreme accuracy. He doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the quickness. He's not as talented as Tua, but he's a good quarterback. I was very impressed with him in the Iron Bowl, even despite those 2 pick sixes. His competitive nature, just that relentless drive to not quit, to not give up. He showed on the sidelines that he was a leader, and we saw the same things today. He took some huge hits, took some very, very huge hits. He stepped up a lot in the pocket. He did a way better job going through his progressions in the second half. I felt like that was really, really good, because when we was running a lot of those design screen routes, I thought that Mac Jones should have, again, you're taught that if the first read isn't there, you got to progress and go through your second, third reads if you're not confident that design design play is not going to work. So I thought that the coaches gave him more freedom to have Mac Jones, try to go through his progressions a lot. And so I think that Sarkisian gave Mac Jones a little bit more freedom to really have him in the pocket, throw the football, go through his progressions. If the design route isn't there, you go to the second, you go to the third, you just go through. He did a good job climbing up in the pocket, taking some huge hits. Just overall, just a good performance. Again, 65% of his throws. He's not 70% or 75% like Tua used to do, but you know he did a damn good job. He took some really big shots. And he's tough. He's a tough competitor. And if Tua decides to go to the NFL, I'm confident in the quarterback position in Mac Jones and Bryce Young. I'm confident in our quarterback position and the weapons that Alabama's going to be having back. Because Devontae Smith is coming back. We're going to have Jalen Waddle come back. I don't know about Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy, but I do know that we got some very talented receivers that are be coming in that are already that are right now in, they're not playing, and like John Mechie, I think John Mechie's a guy that could potentially step up. I look at guys like Javon Baker for this recruiting class, Trayshawn Holden, some of the guys that are becoming. I'm really confident that the receivers that we're going to be bringing in or are going to step up. I'm just very confident in this receiving core, this offense as a whole. How about that? One hell of a job by Evan Neal as a pass blocker, man. He did a phenomenal job as a pass blocker. That's a guy that's going to be coming back. I don't know about Alex Leatherwood. Deontay Brown, I thought he struggled. Dickerson struggled with penalties. Jedrick Wills was a great run blocker, but overall-wise, he kind of struggled a little bit with the penalties. That's one thing that I'll also say that's a little bit of a complaint. Sorry about that, guys. That is our run game. We weren't physical enough in the run game until, like, the second half, right? Second half, like, when the game was already out of reach. That's when we were a lot more physical. You saw Najee Harris started to drive a lot, push through. But we weren't that physical. Michigan did a real, but to give credit, Michigan has a really, really tough physical front. Their defense is a run stuffing type of defense. They're made to stop the run first. So that's just credit to the Michigan defenders in this front seven. This is a really good football team here that we're playing against the Michigan Wolverines. That is the third best team or the fourth best team in the Big Ten. The Big Ten's a pretty good damn conference. So just overall wise, we didn't do a good job with the run game. But we did get better in the second half with it. Again, our receivers were just uncoverable. Jerry Jeudy, for the most part, 200 yards. I think that's a career high for him. I think that's actually his first 200-yard game. So what might be his final game was his best game, and I think that's definitely going to improve that draft stock. But overall-wise, the passing game is what made the game for us today. Not the run game. It was the passing game that made it for us. We had some blunders. Special teams wise, as far as returning, we didn't do a good job. As far as kickoff coverage, we didn't do a good job there. Michigan barely kicked the ball to Jalen Waddle, which definitely set us up in some good field position. But I thought special teams wise, as far as our kickoff unit, which was one of our best, we didn't do a good job with the kickoff unit, I feel like, today. But yeah, guys, just an overall really good performance by the Tide, especially going into the 2020 season. Of course, we got January 2nd, which we got some recruits that could be committing to the Tide, which can also, be really good for us. But we're on to the 2020 season. We ended off the season on a good note. We didn't make it to the college football playoffs. We didn't make it to the championship game. We didn't win our conference. We didn't even win our division. But we definitely did a good job closing out the season against a really good Michigan football team. And I did not personally. For me, I hate Michigan, so I hate losing. The LSU, I hate Auburn, I hate, and then losing to Michigan. That just would have been the trifecta. But we came out of here with a good win, and now it's on to 2020. The goal is the national championship, right? There's no more excuses. Whether if it's Pete Golding, whether if it's our coaching staff, whether if it's the players because they're young. Next year, most of the players that played, they're coming back, man. Most of the true freshmen that played, they're gonna be back. We're gonna get some returning players. We all know we have the talent. We're most likely coming in with the top 2 recruiting class. I think that the coaching staff that we have now, I really like the coaching staff that we have now. But I'm gonna give them a pass for this one. Next year, there's no excuses. It's national championship, man. We got to get there, or at least make it to the college football playoffs next year. But we got to get it. The Citrus Bowl. I like getting wins. Trust me, I like getting wins and ending off the year on a good note. But the Citrus Bowl is not the goal. The goal is a national championship. So, hey guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Oh, by the way, come on, Auburn, man. Jesus Christ, man. The SEC, come on, man. You can't be embarrassing the SEC like that. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Great win by the Alabama Crimson Tide. Very proud of the guys. Very proud of the effort. Very proud of the players that that could have skipped and that decided to stay. Listen, I'm not faulting Terrell Lewis or Trayvon Diggs. You got to get your money. But I really love the fact that these players came back to play on their last day. Right, Henry Ruggs, he could have sat out. But he decided to stay and play. I know he got hurt, but I just gotta give props to him and give props to the rest of the players that decided to play because they didn't have to. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm gonna catch you guys after this Oregon versus Wisconsin football game. I might actually make the Auburn Minnesota video in a second. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Jen716. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Peace.